Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Estancia Lapacho here in Paraguay. I am just emptying out some of the sugarcane trailer right here, and it's not going to be able to empty all of it out, but it will put some into this trailer, and then we can be away. Right, so we can do that, and we can lower that one back down like that, and then we can unfold that bad boy, and I can move it up over here. He had just gone in onto this side, so I've got to tuck him back inside the sugarcane again, and he can start going up across there and busy harvesting all of that. Bring him out a little bit, I think. I think about there is okay. At least I'm hoping it is. Go on. You going to be alright? Yep, he's going to be fine. Right, so we'll let that one carry on there, and if we take a quick look in storage, you will see that I have now altered the amount of grain that we had in there for the corn, and we're going to sell some of it. We're going to take some down to the harbour at 760 euros. We're not on euros. Whatever next. We want to go to dollars. There we go, and we're in kilometers down here, in metric down here. So yes, we have got hardly any beans, hardly any of those, and I don't know, we might actually sell one of these, but the prices aren't that great at the moment. So at the moment I'm thinking $760 per 1,000 litres for one load to the harbour, and then we've also got silage over here. This is currently $484 per 1,000 at the barn, so we want to go over there. I've also got crops are growing all over the place. So today I wanted to get started on a new job, which I've actually just gone past. This one right here. I want the Stara. We're going to get started on a job with the Stara right here, and we are going to load up again with fertilizer. Now, I've been carefully considering what I should do for my weekly question, because I've been buying the odd bit, and I've been rushing down to the shop quite frequently with a seed tender and stuff to go and get pallets and that. And yeah, it's taking time, and it's sort of eating in, and I did have grand, wonderful plans that I was going to participate in and use in order to keep everything filled up, and it was all going to work wonderfully, and none of it has quite come to fruition. None of it has quite worked out how I originally planned it to. So, the question I asked you all last week was, did you want me to buy land or machinery? Did you want me to spend some of this cash that we're earning to get some land up here, or these down here, or something like that, or did you want me to get machinery? I had 1,078 people answer. Bear in mind we only had 2 episodes last week. 1,078 answered, 132 said land, and 946 people want me to get machinery. The people that said land, mostly they were talking about these over here, which did surprise me. I thought that more people would want these, but no, the most commonly suggested ones were these over this side, and field 12 up there. A number of people said field 12. But no, it's machinery that most people seem to want me to get. You all think that, or a lot of you think that land we're not doing too bad with, but machinery we could do with a tad more. So machinery is going to be the #1 priority. We're going to go and spend a bit of cash on some more machinery. The top suggestion for new things to get was a Challenger tractor. A lot of you want me to get a Challenger, and if we take a look in here, there is a particular Challenger that I was thinking of getting. Now, what I've done I've done quite a number of times now, is that I've not used the standard Challenger in the game, either of those two. What I have in fact done is I've gone and I've used the ones with the special coat of paint, the special edition ones that we got way back at the beginning of this, all of it. That's the MT800E, and this one over here is the MT800E. It's the same one, so what's the difference? What is different about this? This is the one that comes with the Holmer mod, not the Holmer, the Horsch mod. Engine setup can go bigger and bigger and bigger. 77, yeah, that one there is the biggest. That goes up to 646. Standard, stealth. Oh, stealth edition. We get we get an option for a black coat of paint on that one. No weight and front weight options as well on it, which we don't have with the basic one. So yeah, it's much the same. But yeah, so I reckon we probably go for that Challenger rather than any other Challenger. A lot of people have been asking if I can get a Challenger. That was the single most highly requested item of everything, is it, could I get a Challenger? Now that is manufactured, I believe, by Agco. I think that we could probably... there are challengers seen in South America. It's not an unusual thing to see a challenger in South America. So, yes, I think that we could very well branch out to getting a challenger. There's a few other things that people have been suggesting as well, but that was that seemed to be the #1 request. So I think that we'll go for that. And generally just upgrade everything. You'd like to see me upgrade just about everything that we own to much bigger machinery. A few people requested the Big Bud 747, the really big one. I'm going to draw the line at that one. I don't want to see that one on this farm. I did originally say that I didn't want to see any of the big tractors, such as the Case Quad Track, and similar vehicles like that one, the T9, and then there's a couple of mods as well that have also got some quite big beasties, as well as the Challenger. Is it that Challenger there? What's this one here? 3M, a 3 meter. I don't know what that one is. I'm not actually sure. But anyway, yeah, there was another big old mod that I had here. Oh, yeah, it was the T9 Smart Tracks. That was another option. But basically, yeah, I said that I didn't really want to go into using those. And it sort of turns out that quite a lot of you would like to see me using those on this map. And as we've gotten bigger, I'm starting to think that it wouldn't actually be out of the way to use those on this map. Now, what I was going to do is we're going to load up one more load. I'll let that one go. We've got the sprayer going over in that field, and we're going to start working our way around all the fields with the sprayer. I'm going to load up another load of silage into this one, and then we will be able to sell one more load of silage. And then I've got to run back with the truck, and we're going to need to take the sugarcane, and we're going to go need to sell that. So the other thing that I wanted to know was, it's the weekly question. And this one is, I know that a lot of you have been saying you prefer the ones where I'm asking you sort of bigger things that are going to affect how the farm is going to run and what we're going to do in the future. And then things like which type of tractor we should get is really more of a suggestions in the comments, and I can sort of take it from there. And yes, I do agree with you. So I hope you've noticed I've been trying to sort of do away with those which machinery questions and sort of focusing more on some of the other things instead. The bigger questions, the ones that have more of an impact on the overall farm and everything that is going to sort of go with the farm as well. So this week's question, if we look in here, we are currently harvesting for the second time the sugarcane in that field there, right? Now, it's taking a little while to do this. We're going to be selling it all. We've got silage here to sell. We've got more crops that we'll be able to harvest and sell. We've got a lot of money that's going to be coming in. We're going to be spending a bit on some machinery. Eventually, I may get some more land. I don't really know. We've got a huge field here. We've got another huge field down here. Do you want me to leave this field as sugarcane? Do you want me to plant a different, bigger field, which should either be that one or that one down there with sugarcane, and do a really big sugarcane harvest? Or do you want me to get rid of the sugarcane altogether? So we can keep it as it is, we can go for a bigger field, or we can have no more sugarcane after this one. So that is your three options. So it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. Do you want me to continue with sugarcane? And where do you want me to continue with it if we are going to do more? And I sort of, it's not sort of a massive decision, but it will affect us in the future, especially if you decide you want me to do like a much bigger sugarcane harvest. I'm aware of the fact that some of you find it quite dull. It's very slow process harvesting sugarcane. Now I could just go and get a modded vehicle and have a huge wide pickup on it and do it like that, but to me, it just doesn't seem like it would be particularly realistic, and we do try to at least give a nod towards realism in this series, even if we're not, like, fully realistic. I do at least like to explain which bits are realistic and give justified reasons as to why I'm not playing realistic in a particular situation, such as blowing the silage over like this, or we're not using crop destruction, things like that. So I know that some of you do like me to be as realistic as possible. Some things like using wide headers that are taking sugarcane, that's really not realistic at all, and there's no justifiable reason to do that either, because we have all the necessary equipment for just doing a normal sugarcane harvest. And to me, it just seems like a little bit of a step too far in the non-realistic direction, which is not how this series really should run as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, we won't be doing that. It would be regular sugarcane harvesting, but I mean, there's all sorts of ways that we could try and do it, and it can certainly be interesting. So I'd like to hear your views and opinions and thoughts on sugarcane in the comment section today, and then I can glean through them and find all the useful information, and I will be able to judge how best to take this forwards in the future. But of course, the really important one that I'm asking is, do you actually want me to bother with sugarcane at all in the future? And that may sort of have a major impact as well. So don't forget to vote. Right, we will sell this one here. This is $484 per 1,000 tons. Before I tip it even, I'm going to go over to this bad boy here. I'm going to start it up. I'm going to leave that corn for just a minute, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to start on this field here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do it this way. And yes, I'm aware that he will come down and he will turn in sugarcane field. However, what he's also going to do is he's going to carry on. Hang on, let me press that button there. What he's also going to do is he's going to carry on spraying. He's going to work his way across to another field over there. And I will eventually join 2 fields over there. I may even join these 3 fields into one bigger field. That might be better. It'll be a pretty quick and easy job to do that as well. And then join those 2 there together. That little one there will just stay as it is, at least for now. Anyway, that's not to worry about today. That's not to worry about right now. We want to go back over to this one here, and we can get this one tipped up. So if I back that one back in there, like this, on round the corner, and straighten up a bit. There we go. Beautifully done. And there we go. Right, so what is the exact price that we're going to get for our side? $489 per 1,000 litres. I'm not sure how much that is for what we've got in here. It's going to be, I reckon, around about $32,000, maybe a fraction over 32,000. That's my estimate, 32 grand. Are we going to get that, or am I going to be completely wrong? We've got over $400,000 now. We got 34,268. I was a little bit out of my guess, but not too bad. I feel that was pretty good. So we're going to go back. We're going to get the sugarcane trailers that are in the sugarcane field, and we're going to take those away, and we're going to sell them immediately, the 2 trailer loads of sugarcane. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to get a trailer load of golden corn loaded up. I really like the yellow, the bright yellow colour. It's always really pleasing to the eye, that bright yellow colour. So we'll get a trailer load of bright yellow corn, and we will take that off to, I think it's the harbour that is going to give us the best price for that, and we'll sell a load of that. That is going to push our money situation up yet further still. And that, I believe, will then take us close. Oh, no, wrong button. I want to go to there, and we are actually looking at the Challenger. So we got this Challenger here. That's just an engine setup. I'm not really sure. No, the one that I'd actually like to get is the one from the Horsch DLC. Now, that is available to everybody for free from the Mod Hub. You can use that. I think that is also on console as well. Whereas these here, these limited edition ones, these are just the special edition ones from when I first bought the game. Pre-order bonuses they were. So we go into here, and I go for Stealth Edition. Obviously, we want the Stealth Edition, because that's different. We'll go for the biggest engine we possibly can. So we've got a 650 horsepower engine, and we'll have a front weight on it as well. That is going to be $500,500. You'd think that the dealer would let you have it for a straight $500,000 instead of charging you the extra $500, wouldn't you? You'd think he would. I feel he's being a little bit stingy. Never mind. So we're at 400,000. We got another $100,000 to earn, and then we'll be able to get that, which would be very, very nice. I tell you what, I'm going to take this one round the corner, and I'm going to unhitch it underneath the spout so it starts loading. We'll get that. That'll be completely loaded up by the time we come back with our sugarcane. Should be absolutely perfect. Such a long trailer, this one, isn't it? Bring that all the way in there like that. There we go. Beautifully done. And we go into there, and then I scroll through the stuff. There we go, 195,000 litres of corn. So I'm going to go forward a bit. I'm just going to stop right there. I know this isn't realistic. You would actually be getting out, you would actually be driving the moving the trailer forward and back in order to fill the trailer all the way along. That's how you would do it in real life, and we have done that several times. I'm just doing this just to sort of speed things along a little bit. We've got grass that we need to plant on the new area that we have ploughed up just down over there. And then we've got to get up onto the plateau up there. We've got to start doing some work up the top. We've got a lot of things that we need to do, and I haven't done any of them yet. So let me just back up here. I don't actually need this dolly on here anymore. So I think what we'll do is when we will go into the yard and we will unhitch this dolly. I'm going to just put that on there now. And we'll unhitch the dolly, and then we can keep bringing this back to the field, because we have been using the big bud to move it around the field, and that's why we got the dolly. But I don't think we need to do that. We can just park this one in the field, and then we take it direct and sell the sugarcane anyway. So there's no need for it. We can just hitch it straight back onto the truck itself, and then we won't have any issues. Right, so if I bring that over to about there, I'd say, and then... no, I don't want to do that. I want to go there, and then I want to unhitch that one. Like that. And then I can take the dolly, and we can move it over here somewhere. I'm not sure where we're going to drop this one. We'll put it away. We'll put it right away in the shed this time. So we'll go into here, and where are we going to actually put it? It's the big question. The question of the week is, where do we put the dolly? Let's put it there. There we go. We'll back it right in there. It's the perfect spot for it. It's like it was made for it. There you go. Right there, and woo Nelly. Jump out. On we come. And right there. Perfect. Jump back in. And now we can go and get these trailers, and we can run up the road and we can sell them. I don't actually know who we're selling them to yet. Let's take a look. Sugarcane, 210, 235 at the sugar mill. Ooh. Prices are low. Prices are low everywhere. We're just getting 235 at the sugar mill. It's still a sugar mill, so the sugar mill is definitely the place we want to go, but it is a lot lower. I'm actually thinking that the rest of it we will take over to the train station over there. We'll dump it in a silo so that we can store it for later when we get a better price. Actually, I might do that with this load. How much can we store? I think we can store like 500,000 litres in the train station. Right, you have persuaded me with your keen arguments and your open debate that you just persuaded me in the comment section. I'm already looking forward in the future, and I can see the comments there. Well, why didn't you just store it at the train station? Because I've already explained I don't want to store this stuff on the ground because it takes too long to pick it back up again. I know I can use conveyors and other such things. You can't use the roper mouse, I don't think. You know that wonderful new roper? If you haven't seen my competition giveaway for the new DLC, the roper DLC, there is a giveaway. Somebody who watches the channel has very, very kindly donated a piece that we can use, a DLC, a key, DLC key. So you need to go to the video and you need to listen very carefully to the instructions so that you can have a chance of winning this roper DLC, and I'll be announcing the winner on Wednesday. But unfortunately, the roper mouse does not take sugarcane. We can't pick up sugarcane with it, which is a bit disappointing. So no, we can't use that to pick sugarcane up off the floor, which it does make it more difficult to pick the stuff up and put it back into trailers if you dump it straight just in a heap on the floor, which is why I think we need to store it at either the train station or sell it direct. Now, the 235 per 1,000 litres does seem a little bit tight, really. It's a little bit stingy on the price there. So if we run this over to the train station, we can unload it there and get a decent sale. Well, we'll get a decent sale later on. We don't need to worry about it then, so we can bring this in here. And then once we've done this, we can then head back over to the big bud. Well, the little bud. This is the small bud. And the little bud over there, we will hitch him up to that seed drill. We'll put some grass going, and then we'll be able to do it like that. So let me just bring this one into here. There it goes, first trailer. That one can go straight in there. And yes, it does actually fill up properly, which is excellent. What I'm not sure of is how much I've got in here, because I can't just go and stand under here and see how much is in that storage. The only way that you can do it is if you actually drive the trailer around and then ask it to fill up, which we might actually do in just a moment. Let me just go to the rear trailer there and tip that one out as well, like that. And then I can just sort of turn it round the corner. So the problem is you've got to use the mouse to tip this one up, and so you got a lot of sort of sideways scrolling in order to get it to tip. So it's not the fastest one to tip up. There we go. Tip that like that. I said last week about the big long trailer tipping up. and you know how it would do it, because it sort of seemed like the rams on that one didn't seem right to me. It felt like they weren't right. Now, if you want realism, please look away right now, because this ain't going to be realistic. This ain't going to be pretty at all. Right, so we've got 98,000 litres of corn over here in the grain elevator. Okay. Soybeans are empty. Sunflowers, canola, barley, wheat is all empty. Soil, sand. Sugarcane, we got 280. We already had a whole load of sugarcane over here that I'd completely forgotten about. We can store 500,000 litres. So I will load this up with 500,000 litres, and then after that, I'm not really sure what we're going to do. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, I was saying about the big old red trailer that we were just using, and how that one, the way that one tips with the rams right at the very back, it just seems like that they would bend and twist. And not the rams themselves, but the actual main bed of the trailer would twist with the rams positioned like that. And I had a few responses on that, and a lot of you seem to agree with me on that point, that the positioning of the rams seemed quite unrealistic. You'd either have them further forward, or you'd have a different system to do it in the first place. A lot of long trailers in the States, where that one comes from, we don't tend to get trailers of that length here in the UK and in a lot of Europe. We tend to get shorter trailers that are more rigidly built, and then you get the rams near the front. But the really long trailers like that in the States, it would be very unusual to see them tipping like that. Very often it's an assisted thing at the point of unload is what you'd have. And basically the trailers, they don't tip up themselves. Some of them don't tip up themselves at all, and they go on to this huge great big ramp, lorry and everything, the whole truck and the trailer and all of it, and then this ramp just lifts right up in the air, and that's how you tip them out. I thought that sounds like the most awesome thing. I went and looked it up on YouTube. I looked at some videos of these things tipping up. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic the way they work. It just the lorry drives onto a ramp like this one right here. If we just had this lorry right here, and then the lorry and the trailers and everything, this ramp, it just lifts right up in there. It's just like a big long slab of concrete underneath the whole lot, and it tips up everything, lorry and the whole lot. It's absolutely amazing. I can believe it. So yeah, that is apparently a fairly common way of doing it in the States, and I just thought that is incredible. That is absolutely amazing. I mean, it does mean that you can't tip those trailers out somewhere else. It's a little bit more difficult, obviously, to go and empty it out if you don't have somewhere that can tip your trailer up in the air. That is going to cause you a couple of difficulties, but I get the impression that that's not really an issue that's going to turn up, because those trailers are used for that kind of task, and so you don't need to worry about it. It just struck me as absolutely amazing the way that this thing works. I would thoroughly recommend you go and have a look at these ramps. It's absolutely cool thing to watch. These lorries being lifted right up in the air and tipped out like that. There are other ways of doing it. Another very common one is that they have, a lot of these trailers have got these like open gates that open underneath them, very much like the train does. You know, when the train goes over a place to tip out on these maps, just like a big hole in the bottom of the trailer opens up. A lot of trailers in the States, the big long ones like that, they have that exact same system on the bottom of the trailer and just tip out like that, which again it's very convenient. It makes it very, very easy to do the tipping. You don't have to worry about anything really. You just drive up and then kick a little lever and out it all goes. There's no tipping or anything. There's no instabilities. There's no danger of anything falling over. No danger of any ramps breaking. But no, the impressive bit was the ramp system, where it lifts the vehicle right up in the air, trailer and all. That was just incredible. I was absolutely gobsmacked when I seen the first one of that. I thought it was brilliant. What a way to do it! What a way to do it! You don't just tip the trailer, you tip the truck and everything. That is just, I couldn't get over it. Seriously, I thought that was like an amazing. I wouldn't have looked at a trailer and thought, I wonder how I could tip this, if we're tipping this out, I wonder how I would do this. Sort of securing the lorry and the trailer all together and just hoisting them up into the air, that's not what would first spring to mind, I gotta be honest. But then I'm not sort of an engineer, I don't tend to come up with these kinds of ideas, so that might be why, that might explain it. Right, I've done a lot of driving around with this truck today, so I think perhaps we'll go and do a different job for a minute. And then if we've got time, we'll sell the load of corn right at the end of the episode. If we don't have time, we'll worry about it another day. So this one here is carrying on. He's got one last little bit to do there, and then we can go on to that field there, and then we'll be able to do the long field down the bottom, except I think we're going to run out of fertilizer before we even finish this field here. It's a little bit of a nuisance. That's alright, we'll worry about that in our next episode as well. Now what we're going to do today, just to finish things off with, I think, is do this. I don't think we're going to have time to do any of the other things that I was planning to do. I've always got so many plans and so little time. There we go. Oop, stop there. And if I just jump out a second and we go over here, and we will lift up that enormous great big seed drill and drop it onto the pin without any trouble whatsoever, because our strength surprises even ourselves at times. You can spin right round there because that has got a really sharp turning circle on it. And we're going to try and use this seed drill to plant grass on our new field over here. Quite frankly, I'm wondering if we're going to be able to do this accurately enough. First of all, we're just going to switch it over to grass. There's beans, there's oilseed radish, and that is grass right there. We're not going to worry about cultivating this one. I said it wasn't something that we were going to concern ourselves with this time. We were just going to hurry up and do it. Get this job done so that we don't have to worry about it anymore. Now this, we do need to reverse up while we're doing it, because otherwise we could end up breaking up main shaft on there. We really don't want to do that. My main concern, though, is when we get over to the fence over there and keeping the vehicle just the right distance from the edge as I go along past it. I don't know if I've got what it takes to do that. I really don't. This is my concern, because I did plough that quite close to the fence. When you're just driving the tractor along, it's easy, but when you've got to judge a distance like this, the pressure is on. Now, it's the same with any farming. You go and you look at a farmer working in a field when he's operating something with a wider width. You know that the pressure is on, unless he's got some sort of fabulous GPS that's reading exactly where the edge of the field is. He's feeling that pressure. You guarantee it. Whether or not he's showing it, he's still feeling it. He is still feeling that pressure. A lot of farmers don't like to admit that they're feeling the pressure, and they don't like to admit that, you know, it's easy to make these mistakes with the big machinery, but it is. Trust me, I've had goes with some big machinery, not the huge stuff. There we go, our brain has stopped working. Not the massive stuff on this scale, but I've used big enough that I know just how difficult it can be. And so when I see like a video of somebody driving some huge, great big wide seed drill and then going around a tree, which is not something you can do with the GPS system, I cannot help but be in complete and total awe, because they are eyeing that in from a very long way away from the edge of the machine. It's that big, so they've got a really long distance that they're having to eye it in from. Like right there, I have just hit the fence, so right now my seed drill has just ripped out a huge long line of the fence. Probably damaged the edge of the seed drill, and I've definitely damaged the fence, and I'm now trailing a huge long line of barbed wire behind us because I hit the fence. It's embarrassing, quite frankly. It is embarrassing when you do things like that, and it's not something that you really want to admit to. So a lot of farmers don't ever admit to those mistakes. They cover them up as quickly as they can, and then they never say no more about them. But believe me, they all do it. Whether they'll admit to it or not, all farmers have at some point or another hit the fence with their machine. Well, so long as they're on a farm that's got fences. I know there are the odd farm that just doesn't have any of those fences anywhere, and quite frankly, I think you're cheating. I've worked on a lot of farms, and most farms have got fences, and most places you look, there's always like a suspicious looking patch, because the farmer has hit it and then rushed out and patched it up, so his neighbours can't see where he's walloped the fence. Yeah, it happens to all of us. So another thing, if you don't really want to, if you're not really bothered about the whole sugarcane scenario that I have talked about today, that I said I'd like you to talk about in the comments section, those of you who are farmers, or those of you who know farmers, tell me your mistakes. I would like to hear some mistakes today. I'd like to hear where you went wrong. What did you do? Well, you were out in the field and you were doing something, and then you hit the fence, you hit a stone that you knew was there, you hit a manhole cover that you knew was in the middle of the field, but you hit it anyway. Those sorts of things. We've all done them. I want to hear your tales. I want you to amuse me. I want to laugh long and hard at your misfortune, your pain, and your misery. because, you know, I'm British and we like laughing at other people's misery. It's one thing that we do. Us British, we laugh at our own misery, but it's also good to laugh at other people's as well. My own pain and misery, you can laugh at that as well. I've had, I have run into a number of different machines and fences and walls and stuff. One in particular, I was quite young. I would have been, I reckon 17, and I was doing some mowing, and this farmer had got a new mower. And when I say new mower, I mean it was a brand new mower. They had just got it. I was the very first person to use said mower. The very first field that I went into, I went and did the outside round of the field, so with the tractor nearest the hedge, and drive around the field with the mower on the inside, then you do all the rest of the field. Now, you leave that very outside round for a couple of reasons. One is because you're most likely to get stones and stuff on the outside round, so you're most likely to damage the mower on the outside round, so you get the rest of it done first, just as an in case. And number two is that you drive around the outside of the field because that's where the grass is going to be thinnest on the ground. You're more likely to have a much thinner crop closer to the hedge. So it's better if you're driving on that bit, if you've got a side-mounted mower. It's better if you're driving on the bit that's closest to the hedge, rather than... I was hoping that I'd be able to actually drill that tiny little patch there. We'll have to go back the other way and do that in a minute. Yeah, you go to the... You go close... You drive close to the hedge because you're squashing over less grass by doing that. And then when you finally go around and you do actually cut it, you're going to have less sort of folded over and left on the ground behind you. So, you know, there's a few reasons for doing that. So I'd gone around and I'd done the outside round. And then I went and did the inside of the field, and I did it really well. And there was a manhole cover, and I went and stuck a cone on it. And I didn't go over the manhole cover. I was very impressed with myself. I'd been very, very careful with their brand new mower. And so then I went up and I started doing the outside round. And I got to the very first corner of the outside round, and I walloped the mower straight into the fence post. Crunch. Yeah, it started making a bit of a funny noise because something went out, and so then I had to go back to the farm with this mower with this huge, great big dent in it and say I can't finish the field because it's making a funny noise. They weren't very pleased. They weren't very pleased at all. In fact, they seemed quite annoyed with me. And the funny noise turned out not to be anything that needed to be... Well, I can't remember what it was, but it turned out to be a nothing. The funny noise was nothing whatsoever. It made no difference to anything at all at any point. But, oh my goodness me, weren't they upset? They were so upset. So angry, so, you know, like properly enraged. And I mean, I don't blame them. They just spent a load of money on a brand new mower, and then along I come, and the first thing I do is smash it into a fence. It's gonna get anybody irate. Quite frankly, most people. You know, I'm surprised. I would have been more surprised if they weren't upset. And I've just missed a tiny little bit. I've just seen that. And yeah, I know I'm turning really sharp with this thing, and I really shouldn't be doing that at all, but I just wanted to get this little bit planted with grass so that it's done with, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore. So we've got this bit here. There's a piece over right on the edge, and there's another piece on the edge up here, and I think that's all of it. There may be something close to the fence, but I'm not too worried about that, because we probably won't be going in tight to the fence anyway when we're doing mowing, so that it shouldn't be much of an issue. So I'll bring this around here. So yes, that's one of my embarrassing stories. One of the things that I have done wrong. I'm not going to... I do tell you the things that I do wrong on a fairly regular basis, so you will hear more. I'm just not going to tell you any more today. Is that lowered? Yes, it is. So yeah, I'm just not going to tell you any more today. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your war stories, ladies and gentlemen. What have you done that nearly cost you your job? What have you done that did cost you your job? I know there are a few people. I'm very, very fortunate in that I've never done anything so stupid or so bad that I've lost a job. I've come very, very close to losing a job before now with making a mistake, with breaking something, things like that. I have come close to losing a job. I've never actually lost a job yet. I say yet because if I just say it's never going to happen, well, we all know the first thing that's going to happen is that it's going to happen. I don't really want to do that. I quite like the job I've got right now, which is doing this. Although it's going to be difficult for me to get fired from this particular job because I'm like self-employed. And yeah, I don't know very many people that fire themselves. I do something wrong, I suppose I could like make a bad video or something, and then just like look at myself in the mirror and say, like, for goodness sake, Frith, you know, have a word with yourself, mate. Just have a word, yeah, will you? Just have a word with yourself. No, I can't do this anymore. You're fired. You're quite frankly, Frith, you're an absolute embarrassment. You're fired. I can't see me doing that, to be honest. I really can't. You know, there are things that I have done and things that I haven't done in the past. Firing myself from what is actually my dream job, it's not something that I'm going to do. At least not yet, anyway. So, no, I won't be having a word with myself and or anything else. There's that trailer. I knew that trailer was here somewhere. That one right there. See, the sugarcane trailer? I need to sell that one. That's we're not using that one anymore because we've got the Massey Ferguson one up there. So we don't want that one. We can sell that one, and that's another little bit of cash that we can add to the pot, which is brilliant. But really, we've run out of time for today. So my weekly question. Hang on a minute. You know, I've completely forgotten what my weekly question is. Well, this is awkward. What was my weekly question? I had it. I know, because I asked you all about it. Oh, I know what it was. Don't worry. I can't believe I forgot that. Right, yeah, sugarcane. We're working on sugarcane right now. The weekly question is, do you want me to continue working on sugarcane? Do you want me, when this harvest is finished, to leave this field and let it grow once more so we get yet another cut out of it? Do you want me to plough this field under and plant sugarcane in one of the two big fields, which is that one there, or the one at the top, the ones that we've made and joined together? Or do you want me to just not do any more sugarcane after this harvest? So you've got three options. Leave it here, put it in a big field, or stop doing it altogether. It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And that is all I've got time for, so if you enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well, that would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching, this is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.